We're back on the early edge on CBS Sports Network, and I'm joined again by Calvin Wetzel to talk some WNBA. And Calvin, as we near the playoffs and close the regular season, the Minnesota Lynx have already clinched the number one seed. They'll have home field, or I should say home court, throughout the playoffs. The odds to win the WNBA title here at BetMGM, the Lynx, a pretty heavy favorite here at plus 110, followed by the Liberty at plus 275. Then the Aces at plus 550, slight drop to the Dream at plus 850. And then we see the Mercury, Storm, Fever, and Valkyries. Talk to me about this plus 110 number, though, Calvin. Do we like the value there?
I think that's a little bit too short for me. The Lynx are clearly the best team in the league, and obviously they will have a rest advantage going into the playoffs, having clinched the one seed, like you said. But there are just too many good competitive teams behind them. The Liberty still have a high ceiling if they're healthy. We're going to talk about them in a bit. Phoenix and Atlanta are very dangerous. Atlanta has beaten the Lynx 2 out of 3 times, including the only time that the Lynx lost at home. And then the Aces are on a 12-game winning streak right now. We're going to talk about them as well. That's a really dangerous team. So when you look at the landscape right now, there are just too many teams behind them that could potentially knock them off in the playoffs. And of course, the WNBA no longer gives the one seed a bye. So the only advantage that you get now as the one seed is home court. If it was maybe plus 150 or so, I would take it. But at plus 105 or plus 110, I think that's a pass for me.
All right. Well, Calvin, you just mentioned it as we look at the landscape. Well, we just saw the landscape, the odds courtesy of BetMGM. Who on that chart did you say to yourself, all right, this is a team right now I'm willing to put a few bucks on?
We talked about that Aces 12-game winning streak. That's where I see value right now, plus 550, third behind the Lynx and the Liberty there. Not even a month ago, the Aces were coming off of a 53-point loss at home, worst home loss by anyone in WNBA history, and they were sitting at 500, looking like they were maybe going to even miss the playoffs, barely holding on to a playoff spot. Now, they've won all 12 games since. They're sitting at the 2 seed. They have a better net rating than the Lynx over that time frame. If they hold on to that 2 seed, which I believe they will because they play the Lynx at home, Lynx might rest some starters, and then they play 3 non-playoff teams to close out the season. So they're in position to hold on to that 2 seed. That means they'll get home court in the first round, home court in the second round. You might see them favored all the way until the finals when they would potentially match up with the Lynx. So I think plus 550 is just too long of a number for a team that looks like they may be the best positioned to potentially challenge Minnesota in this year's playoffs.
Calvin, I want to get to your best bet for tonight and tomorrow, and I got another follow-up question on the Liberty, but I have to follow up here. Give me 30 seconds or less on what do you attribute this winning streak to?
Well, the biggest thing that they did is they moved Jewel Lloyd to the bench, and she became sort of that like Lou Williams or Jamal Crawford, kind of that instant offense off the bench. And they brought it. She's clearly one of their top 5 players, but they brought in Kirsten Bell in the starting lineup. And now you have that offense off the bench. And instead of going to the bench unit and having this big drop off, now for 40 minutes, they have a scorer on the court. And that's changed everything for them offensively. And it's a big reason wwhy they've been able to go 12-0 over the last 12 games.
I absolutely love the Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams comp there, Calvin. All right, let's talk about the Liberty. You mentioned them. Injuries have plagued this team. Ionescu also has this toe injury. How do you think this is going to impact them going into the playoffs?
Well, it's big for them because when you look at this season, the Liberty are still 9-0 when they're fully healthy. Early in the season, they started 9-0, and that was before they signed Emma Miesemann, but before any of these injuries happened as well. But since then, they're under 500 when even one of their stars misses a game. And because of some of those losses and those injuries, now at this point, they're staring at the 5 seed, which would potentially mean they have to go on the road in the first round, not even in the second or third round. And so that's going to be tough getting into the playoffs if they have to go on the road, even if they do get healthy. And of course, they'll have to, some of those players will have to shake off some of that rust coming back and kind of reintegrate and develop that chemistry. They signed Emma Miesemann a few weeks ago, and she's been good for them, but their preferred starting 5 at this point, Sabrina Ionescu, Natasha Cloud, Emma Miesemann, Brianna Stewart, Jonquil Jones, have not played a game together yet. They've played 3 or 4 of them together. All 5 have not played in the same game yet. So when they do come back, even if they are healthy in the playoffs, they're still going to have to take some time to gel and things like that. And it's going to be tough. They have some time still to figure it out, but time is certainly running out for them.
Calvin, one of the benefits to hosting the morning show at 10 o'clock on the Sportsline YouTube channel is that when you're on that show, we often get your best bet. Sometimes we get multiple bets, but we get your best bet, which you delivered at 10 o'clock again on the Sportsline YouTube channel this morning. But for those who didn't catch that show, when they're watching this on CBS Sports Network, talk to us about a big dog that you like.
Yeah, the biggest dog of the season, in fact. Dallas Wings plus 17.5. We haven't seen a spread this high in the WNBA yet this year, and I think it's too high. You look at the Lynx, again, clinching the 1 seed like we talked about. Probably going to take it easy on some starters. They're resting Kayla McBride today. Everyone else is going to play, but we don't know how long they're going to play, how much they will play in the second half or fourth quarter if this turns into a blowout, which the spread implies it will. And when you look at the Lynx and how the season has played out for them, they've dealt with some injuries, particularly to Nafisa Collier. She's been hurt a couple times, most recently when she was in the game when they were up 40 at the end of the game. So I think if anyone knows the importance of not letting something like that happen, it's Cheryl Reeve in the Minnesota Lynx, who kind of learned their lesson. Hey, we don't need the starters in at the end of these big blowouts, especially now that they've clinched the 1 seed. I think the end of this game, you're going to see a lot of bench from Minnesota, and the Dallas Wings are going to be able to keep this within 14, 15, 16 points. So I love getting plus 17.5 for them.
Absolutely love it. What a huge spread that is. Talk to me about your best bet for Tuesday night.
I'm going to the Golden State Valkyries. This team I've been on all season, and I cannot say enough about this team, especially at home, where they continue to sell out, break attendance records, even as an expansion team. They're looking at a playoff spot right now, which is remarkable for a team in their first year. And they are now 10-3 against the spread as home underdogs, 16-5 at home overall. Now they welcome in a New York team who we already talked about is struggling, kind of banged up right now, still trying to piece things together. And when you look at the 3 times all year that Golden State did not cover as home underdogs, they were all smaller spreads than this. They've covered a spread this big every time that they've faced a spread this big at home. 5 games, they've covered all 5. I think they make it 6 in a row, and plus 6, you're getting 2 whole possessions at home. I love it. So give me Golden State Valkyries plus 6 tomorrow.
Calvin, we got about 60 seconds left. I just want to ask you real quick about the Fever and Caitlin Clark. I know there's a logjam to make the playoffs for some of those last spots there. Caitlin Clark still battling the injury bug. Do you think the Fever are a team that if she comes back can do some damage in the playoffs?
I do. You know, they haven't clinched a playoff spot yet. They're in that logjam, like you said, between 6 through 9, and 3 of those 4 teams are going to get in. Fever look likely to be one of those 3, and if they do, they will be either a 6, 7, or an 8, facing either a 1, 2, or 3. And if you're the 1, 2, or 3, if you get Caitlin Clark back healthy, that is not the team that you want to face in the first round. A Fever team that really, if Caitlin Clark is able to get things rolling and hit the ground running, or maybe have a game or 2 at the end of the regular season to shake off some of the rust, that they'll be more of a caliber of a 2 or 3 seed themselves. So definitely some potential for them to make some noise in the playoffs.
Very, very exciting stuff. Calvin Wetzel, thank you very much for all of the breakdowns, the storylines, and of course the best bets for a Monday and a Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a great Early Edge show. You can catch more Early Edge content on the Sportsline YouTube channel. I host that show Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock, and we have Sportsline's Best always visiting that show, cycling through Monday through Friday. And believe me when I tell you, there's so much content on there, including NFL and college football. Have a great Labor Day, everyone. We'll see you next time on the Early Edge.